49ers update here from Levi's Stadium. San Francisco has shut down Dre Greenlaw for the season, and they've added a new center who began his NFL career learning from Alex Mack. That's Matt Hennessy, whom the 49ers poached off of the Falcons practice squad. He actually landed in the Bay Area very early Christmas morning. He said about 3 or 4 a.m. So he flew overnight from Atlanta on Christmas Eve, and now he's a member of the 49ers who may be looking for a new center this offseason. Jake Moody has not played well in the 2024 season, and center has traditionally been an extremely important position in Kyle Shanahan's offensive scheme. That's why he coached Alex Mack 3 times over the course of his career in 3 different locations. In Cleveland, 2014, then in Atlanta, 2016, and then with the 49ers in 2021. That's also why Kyle Shanahan encouraged the 49ers to invest big time in Weston Richburg back in 2018. The best the 49ers have seen from this offensive line over Kyle Shanahan's tenure has come when they've had a high-priced center. That was Richburg in 2018 up till 2019, week 14, is when he suffered the career-ending injury, and then Alex Mack in the 2021 season. So now they're looking at how to restock that position. And this Matt Hennessy signing is really interesting because he did enter the league as a 3rd-round draft pick in 2020 with the Atlanta Falcons, and he did learn from Alex Mack, who is a savant at the position. This is a position with outsized responsibility in Kyle Shanahan's scheme. You have to identify the blitzes. You have to identify where the pressure might be coming from. You're setting the protection if you're the center in Kyle Shanahan's scheme. You're identifying safety rotations, which isn't all too easy when you've got a helmet and a face mask on and you're crouched down ready to snap the ball so you don't have that high vantage point. This is something that throughout the years we've looked at as a premium position in Shanahan's offense because of the responsibility and because of the ability to affect other players at the position. So Jake Moody played well for the 49ers in 2022 and into parts of 2023, but I think his play has regressed over time, and he has been a budget option. He still is under contract for 2025, but if we're talking about how to fix the 49ers, they're going to have to look at other options at that center position, at least for competition's sake, and I think it might be more than that for San Francisco moving into this next season. So Matt Hennessy is on a 2-year deal, which means that he'll be with the 49ers for these final 2 weeks, and then he'll be a member of the 90-man roster into the offseason. Remember, they also have Drake Nugent, who's a rookie undrafted free agent out of Michigan. Although both Nugent and Hennessy, I would say, are undersized. The arm length, the height and weight, those are all significantly under the 50th percentile, but both of them are extremely quick. Hennessy, another guy with good quickness metrics for the 49ers, so we'll see if he can impress them over the course of the next, what will it be? Maybe the next year, because he is under contract through the 2025 season. San Francisco is going to have to be doing a lot of work up front this week. We're still not sure if Spencer Burford is going to be able to play through his calf injury. I saw him in the locker room today. It looked like he was walking fine, but he's not going to practice today. And Burford is the emergency left tackle. The 49ers have now formally placed Trent Williams on IR. They're confident that he'll make a recovery, but he's done for the season. And they've also placed Jalen Moore on injured reserve, who was his backup at left tackle on IR with the quad injury. So the 3rd-string tackle who they put into the game against the Miami Dolphins is Spencer Burford, but he's dealing with a calf injury. He won't practice. San Francisco actually had to sign 2 tackles over the course of the past 2 weeks for this type of emergency, and now they have reached the code red at tackle. Austin Pleasance and Charlie Heck. Heck was signed on Christmas Eve, came over from the Arizona Cardinals practice squad. So he's on the 53-man roster. I had a quick chance to talk with him today. He's 6'8". Playbook crash course happening for Charlie Heck right now. If Burford can't go, it might be Charlie Heck, who has starting experience in the NFL, at left tackle in front of Brock Purdy. The team also added Sebastian Gutierrez, who's been in and out of the roster this whole season, back to the practice squad. So just in case Heck can't pick up the system quickly enough and Burford can't play on Sunday, Gutierrez already knows the system. I don't think he's as good of a player, but Gutierrez will probably get a call-up regardless, but he could also potentially start for the 49ers. There you can see it's a bit of a mess for San Francisco up front. I'm not even done documenting the mess. Aaron Banks is also done for the season, the left guard. So Nick Zakel's going to start in his place at left guard. And that means that Zakel can't be the backup center. That means that Matt Hennessy is going to be the backup center. Maybe even Drake Nugent gets a call up this weekend just in case they need him. He's been on the practice squad all season long, the center out of Michigan. Other practice news, I mentioned Greenlaw shut down. Shanahan said that he talked to him. Greenlaw was okay with the decision, probably not all too happy with it, but he only essentially got a half worth of action against the Rams. Looked really good, but still just not fully back. You know, one problem solved, it was the left Achilles that obviously was repaired in surgery, and then he was explosive coming back against the Rams, but it was the right calf that started bothering him after. He was sore everywhere after that first game against the Rams. So that is the last that we've seen of Dre Greenlaw on this contract. He's going to have to sign a new contract if he's going to play with the 49ers moving forward, because this deal expires at the end of 2024. You know, because of the limited action that Dre Greenlaw has seen, 49ers might be able to retain him at a relative discount. That's the one silver lining and good news for the football team. And you do have to wonder if Talanoa Hufanga, because he's still playing, obviously, there might be less interest and less of a financial buildup on his market, because he hasn't had as big of a sample to play this year coming off of the ACL tear. So 49ers want to make it a priority to get both Hufanga and Greenlaw back, and we'll see if the finances agree with that for the 49ers. No Robert Beal at practice today either. That is an ankle injury for the second-year 49ers edge rusher. Isaac Guerendo and Jair Brown both will be at practice in a limited fashion for San Francisco today. So now I know some of you care about your fantasy teams. I don't care about your fantasy teams, but I'm reporting it on it anyway. Isaac Guerendo does look to have a chance to play for the 49ers, so maybe they won't be on their fifth-string running back anymore come Monday night. Maybe it will be their fourth-string running back, Isaac Guerendo, which, by the way, is a huge difference. I think that we saw the struggles of Patrick Taylor Jr. in the pass game, and that really derailed some things for the 49ers, hurt Brock Purdy in that game. If they can have Guerendo back, that'll give them a much better positioning against the Lions, especially since the offensive line is so beleaguered at those tackle positions. And obviously the interior is also struggling, and injuries are a factor at left guard, and Jake Brendel isn't playing well. Well, you better have a good outlet in the pass game. That's what made Christian McCaffrey so valuable. I said Christian McCaffrey is pass protection. Well, Isaac Guerendo is a good receiver. You could consider him pass protection as well. One more note today, Kyle Shanahan defended Jake Moody. He didn't say Moody is our kicker of the future. He said, I believe Moody will be our kicker of the future. But he did point out that Moody missed only one kick before the high ankle sprain. And I went back and I tallied it up. Before the high ankle sprain, which happened against Arizona when Moody was on kick coverage, which is a failure of the 49ers special teams, that Moody is having to make that kind of contact that could sprain his ankle. But before then, Moody was 13 of 14, 93%. The only miss was a damaging one. It was against the Rams at SoFi, left the door open in that game. But still, you'll take 93% from your kicker. Since coming off of, I don't think he was on IR, but since coming off of that injury, Jake Moody has been only 10 of 16, 63%. So from 93% to 63%. Now, I'll play a video of Jake Moody in the locker room here, and you can take it for what it's worth. He, didn't expressly acknowledge that the high ankle sprain is causing the struggles, but he did say that it's the first time in his career he's had to deal with something like this. And Kyle Shanahan obviously has thrust that into the conversation. Kicking is a big head game, right? And if something from routine is thrown off, as I believe was the case when Jake Moody suffered the high ankle sprain, I wouldn't be shocked when the results end up being a little bit different. He's still under contract with the 49ers for 2 years past this one. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in somebody to seriously compete with Jake Moody this offseason. But the stats are the stats, and the reality is the reality. He was 13 of 14 before the high ankle sprain, 10 of 16 after, 93 to 63%. I think he's got to get mentally right, because I think that injury did something, obviously, to throw Jake Moody off. He was 3 of 6 the game that he came back. He missed 3 field goals against Tampa Bay right off of that sprain. So the evidence does point to that being a delineation point, and it's obviously something the 49ers should take into account as they build this team moving forward. All right, so that is the practice report today. We will talk to you all soon. Here's your look into the 49ers locker room.
I mean, that's the great thing about kicking is, you can be as talented as, whoever, and you can struggle. And, I feel like this year I've struggled. It doesn't really waver, like, my confidence or anything. I feel like, throughout my entire life, I've gone through struggles, I've gone through high points, and the biggest thing is to just stay consistent, not change anything, not, change your mindset, your physical, like the warm-ups or your form or anything like that. So yeah, just the biggest thing is just stay consistent, and you'll go through different highs and lows, and just got to keep a straight head and just kind of move forward.
I believe all the misses this year have come on the road. I mean, is that something that you're still kind of learning how to do, is kind of assess each stadium and figure it out on the fly?
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. It's pretty interesting. No, I don't think that, necessarily has anything to do with it, being like home or away. It's just, the misses, I've got to hit better kicks. It's not, any specific reason why I miss. It's just got to make sure I'm dialed in on my form and stuff. And, I'll take a look at it, but I don't think that's really an issue.
Is there ever an inner struggle to deviate from the process and say, man, I got to try something new, and then you decide against it, or does that ever enter your mind?
Yeah, it's tough. I kind of compare kicking to golfing a lot. Some golfers go through like swing changes and stuff, and it can take years and years to finally feel like you're kind of dialed in. But in this business, you don't have that much time to try to dial something in, do big changes like that. So for me personally, I mean, I've thought about it for sure, just kind of changing the form, trying to fix on certain things, but like I said earlier, it's just you got to be consistent, and you can't be changing too many things, otherwise you'll kind of just overwhelmed by everything.
Did missing that chunk of time in the middle of the season have any effect on, obviously your consistency, but do you think that has any effect on how your performance is right now?
I mean, it was just a new kind of experience for me. Hadn't experienced anything like that before, and I just learned a lot from it. Coming back from an injury, making sure that you feel ready to get back on the field, which I did, and yeah, just you gotta kind of pick up where you left off, which can be tough, taking time off, especially in kicking. Kind of like what I alluded to earlier, just when you get in that rhythm, get in that flow, that nice consistent, rhythm, it's tough once you kind of break that. You gotta come back and try to pick up where you left off. But yeah, learned a lot from it. It's a good lesson going forward.
Is there any particular person that you can lean on in some time like this, a teammate, relative, or anyone that is a go-to person?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of different kickers that have kind of gone through similar things, coaches, teammates. They're all great. They have all the confidence in the world, which helps. Because when they're confident in you, that instills more confidence in yourself. So just having them kind of feel confident and being there for me it's pretty cool.
A couple more, Vinny.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I think it's good. It's obviously not where you want to be this time of year. It's different, especially watching where we were at last year against this team. Just that feeling of December, January football is a feeling that I've gotten used to, being really competitive and being in the mix. But I think we're doing a good job of staying engaged, and obviously this is our job, so we're going to finish it strong.
How important would it be for you to get to 10 sacks? Does that matter to you? Since last 3 years in a row, you've been double figures. And
Yeah, just trying to get the next one. But be cool.
Nick, you mentioned seeing where you were at last year against this team and seeing them come in again. What is that like? You're kind of seeing them kind of continue to ascend and where you guys maybe have taken a step back. How do you kind of reconcile that?
I don't know how to answer that. They're doing great, and we had an off year, so yeah.
How do you feel like the defensive line is playing at this point? I know you said that you seem like you're rolling. How did the last game feel?
The last game was tough. Definitely didn't play the run as good as I thought we were going to. And then rushing when against a team when you're not stopping the run and you're not getting a lead is tough with Tua back there. But hopefully we could step it up this week.
Nick, you've faced Penny Sewell a few times now, so how does he rank among the tackles that you go against, and how's he playing this year?
He's playing really good. I haven't watched too much pass yet, mostly run game stuff, but in the run game he's probably the best one for sure.
You had a little moment with Mike McDaniel after the game where he said he's enjoying South Florida.
Yeah.
Some people took it as some sort of recruiting type statement, but
just an awkward Mike McDaniel moment.
So normal.
normal behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard being in here? It's abnormally quiet if I'm just being observant in the locker room, and to know you have 2 more games where you're essentially just playing just because they're left on the schedule. Is it hard to come in here each day?
No, it's not hard to come into work. There's a lot worse jobs to have than playing a sport and making good money. So I'm happy to come in.
Prepare as if we were in that situation and trying to give it my all on Monday night, but obviously it's different team-wise, just given the situation.
What do you think? I think we alluded to this after the game on Sunday, but is it kind of a relief to you to see that Kyle and Dre are on the same page as far as making sure that he doesn't play these last 2 games?
I mean, I'm always going to be looking out for Dre because that's like my little brother, right? I'm always going to want what's best for him. Obviously, we'd love to have had him to finish the season off, especially myself. But at the end of the day, his health is what's most important.
And what about your health? Would it be beneficial to you to sit out these final 2 games?
No, I could never. I'm for sure going to be playing.
Why is that? There are people who say that a lot of the big-time guys should be playing. What's your thought on that?
I think there's an integrity to the game. There's an integrity to your team that if you are able and willing, that you need to be out there with that 49er red on you, out there on that field, regardless of the situation.
What did you think of
every single week? He's still a young player, so of course there's little nuances to the position and to the defense that he's going to continue to have to learn. But obviously this is now a great opportunity for him to kind of come in and play a lot more minutes and finish out the season strong.
How is Dre doing emotionally? I know this is a tough one for him.
Yeah, I mean, you never really know because he's always got a smile on his face. He's always telling you that everything's great, which is a great mindset. But then you also know that, he has gone through a tough time when it comes to the injuries and everything else. But he's made of the right stuff, and he has great perspective on everything.
But when you play a team with a line that goes forward and fourth down as much as they do and has that line of success, how do you have to kind of retrain your mind of like, hey, if it's 3rd and 4 and we stop them a yard short, we're probably going to have to play another down?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just that, I think you do have to prepare your mind for that and, just make sure you're aware of that, because if you went out there thinking that it's just going to be 3 plays and you're out on the 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and you get surprised with it, then obviously you're going to be in for a heck of a game.
When you watch their film, does it ever surprise? I mean, I guess you expect it at this point.
Exactly.
Does it ever surprise you? Like, man.
Everybody in the league expects it now. Dan Campbell obviously lives and dies by it, and he's the best in the game at doing it.
There's 30 medium runs that they do because they go for it. It's sort of making it more difficult in that situation that they can run more pass and that 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think it does change up what the thought process would be on on 3rd down. Because are they going to try to get the first down on 3rd down, or are they trying to just get it to a 4th and manageable? Which is a little bit of a different way to go about it.
Fred, specialists can be like in their own little world. You don't really practice with them. They go off to they work on stuff on their own, and you just expect them to make the kick. Like Jake, he's struggled a little bit. He just talked about it. Do you go out of your way to talk to specialists about their job, or do you just leave them alone?
No, I don't, because I have no clue about what it's like to kick a field goal, especially in the NFL with, obviously the high stakes on the line. And of course, yes, everybody's expected to do their job at the highest level. I understand that, but I know Jake's made the right stuff, and so he's going to be able to knock them in.